The Aura Ring is a pretty pricey option as health trackers go, so how useful is it for giving you insights? Let's talk about it. The ring itself has various sensors, including an accelerometer, red, green, infrared LED lights, and a temperature sensor inside to measure deviations from baseline. These sensors are not perfect. For example, in detecting low frequency heart rate that might happen at night, there could be quite a large potential error. But some of them are surprisingly impressive, like the sleep tracker had comparable accuracy to a professional sleep study. The temperature sensor is also surprisingly accurate in predicting when you'll ovulate, and it has a heart rate monitor, including heart rate variability, and can pick up potentially dangerous arrhythmias as well, although it's not an ECG monitor, so I wouldn't just rely on it. There's always a concern though with these kinds of wearables that it will increase health anxiety, which we have to be cautious of, but I have to admit it could potentially give valuable insights to your health. What's been your experience?
You know what that is, right? You know what that is, right? Hi. Hey. Shalom once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh Basham, Yahushai Basham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere can. And this is your brother Abawan back again with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham, Yahushai Basham, Rakakwadash. All praises and glory is due, especially in the times that we're in. Now we have another video going in. We have another video, another desensitization, another gradualism, another algorithm towards the MoTB, and it's in the form of these ring sensors, right? First, you have different forms of payment. Okay, contactless payment. Now you have contactless, or I should say, sensors for monitoring your health status, right? The same thing that happens when you have all these different apps on your phone to monitor your steps, your heart rate, your cholesterol, and so on and so forth. Now you have a ring that is doing all of that, and it's always going to be marketed as convenience, marketed as a tool of the future to help with certain situations, and especially with the current declining health of the people of this kingdom, right? This is just part of how Esau is going to be pushing this MOTB and also desensitizing you to the idea of having these technologies on you that are basically monitoring all your information and tracking your different bio I want to say biometrics, right? But basically, a different biological activities. And that's ultimately what. Yeah. Hold on. Yep, that's ultimately what these devils are after, in order to, it's like. So that's basically what these devils are after, right? Your surveillance, and monitoring, and also to have full, what's what I'm looking for? So like, I'm trying to remember what I want to say. Have all your data right on standby, have all your data and full monitoring of all your activities, including they want to know where you shit, they want to know where you sleep, they want to know everything that you are doing, because that is the goal of the MOTB. Total control. It isn't just about finances, it isn't just about buying and selling, okay? Because even when it comes to transactions isn't just buying and selling. If you are going to the doctor, that's part of a transaction, right? Because you are paying for those services. If you call an electrician, that's a transaction, you are paying for those services, right? So any service that you are paying for, anything that involves cash or value exchanging hands, that's also part of transactions, and you're also going to be paying for that. And that's exactly what Esau Edom is trying to push for with this MOCB, right? And this ring being a gradual step towards that, because these devils never. Esau isn't just going to drop everything on your lap at once and put you in that position where you have to be taking. They'll put you in that position where you're going to have to receive the mark immediately, right? They are going to gradually bring you to that, and then eventually mandate it under the threat of this of beheading, right? Of complete the complete uncoupling or deplatforming from this entire system. So now, the scriptures say, and let's go start Revelation 13. You can't buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Revelation 13 verse 16. And he, and of course the he here being Esau Edom, specifically the elites of Esau Edom. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And let me just say this to be clear, okay? I am not saying that this ring technology is the MoTB or the mark of the beast. What I am saying is that this ring technology is another step towards the gradual process of desensitizing people to the idea of wearable monitoring devices, right? Devices that basically can monitor different biological functions, your heart rate, your cholesterol, your sleep rate as well, even the steps they are taking every single day. And of course, after Esau, is when Esau really wants to push this thing, he will start pushing it towards the implantable form of this technology. Oh, we're going to put a chip underneath your skin, and then all that information, and then to make it easier to access and record all that information, right? You're going to be seeing it, man. Most likely, most people will even get more than one C hips, right? Different different C hips that were doing different things, okay. But ultimately, it all comes down to the MoTB, and that's exactly what it is, the MoTB. It doesn't matter if only one company makes it. Oh, what if I get an MoTB that this company? No, all the different forms of implantable RFID microchips are all the MoTB. Okay, so yeah, Revelation 13 verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? And that's the prophecy right there, okay. And we are not yet in that time where basically you will not be able to participate in this kingdom, right? Because you're living in a capitalist system, right? Everybody's always crying about capitalism. You're living in a capitalist system, and the capitalist system is based on the idea of a free market, which is why the buying and selling is so essential. Because if you can't buy or sell, you are basically done, because the system is set up to be for you to be dependent on the major corporations that control everything. And that's why you are seeing that Esau is trying to push more for corporate greed. So now more control is being given to the corporations, to the point where they are even able to control governments. Even that is also an algorithm towards, even that is also part of the gradualism towards the MoTB, right? Less control from the government and more control to various corporations. That's why Netflix is trying to buy up Warner Bros. Discovery, because everything is moving towards a monopoly, right? One company controlling everything, and that company is, of course, BlackRock, right? Larry Fink and them, okay. And if you go into the actual ownership of BlackRock, you have various other asset management firms, right? And if you keep on digging and digging and digging, eventually you reach a dead end where Esau's systems just straight up refuse to show you who owns this shit. And of course, you already know who owns it, right? The elite banking families. And all right, Larry Fink really is just, they honor their errand boys, right? But he's at the top of this thing, right? Guys like Fink and Soros, they are at the top of this thing, or at the appearance top, because you can't really find anybody that has more control over this current system than somebody like Larry Fink, that is the CEO and of course the founder, right, of BlackRock. Okay, so yeah, even the whole idea, even this current system we're in, with all these tech billionaires having so much, all these tech billionaires and regular billionaires having so much control over different corporations and institutions in the world, right? That is also a part of your gradualism towards the MoTB, because that is because ultimately that is what these devils are after: total control. Total control, that they might be having the power of the Heavenly Father and have full control over the lives of the people of this world. And that's what the MoTB is being built for, and that's why it has so much information, right, that it can monitor and being sent to and fro. And that's why Palantir is such a big deal right now, because they are a surveillance company. And if I recall correctly, there was also an ad that was put up in the Super Bowl about how you can use cameras to track people that, to track missing pets, right? And basically created a whole that's already happening, of course. You already have that situation. It was already foreshadowed in Batman, and I forget which Batman it was. I think it was either the Dark Knight Rises or the Dark Knight Returns, right? Where you had Bruce Wayne basically looking through all the cameras from phones, right? From actual cameras, right? All over Gotham to look for a certain, I think it was a bomb or something like that. I can't really remember the details, right? But this is how Esau operates. This is what I mean. This is what I mean when I say gradualism. They are slowly putting it in your mind that these things are going to happen. So yeah, that's why putting it in your mind to, and that's what, to make it easier for you to accept, you know, these absurd things that are happening. So gradualism is the hypothesis, and you see how these devils operate. It's a hypothesis. Gradualism is the hypothesis that profound change, particularly in evolution and geology, occurs through the slow continuous accumulation of small incremental steps rather than sudden drastic leaps, right? So that's the idea of gradualism. Of course, this is more in a biological context, whereas we never look for it in. Yeah, but this is more of a biological steps, right? And gradualism, oh, look at this, etym online, gradualism, right? A gradual method of action. And let's see, gradual, from the Latin, it should be, I think it should be, yeah, from the Latin gradus, which is a step. So gradualism is step, step, so step by step, slowly moving towards a certain goal, no, the goal. And the goal is to chip everybody, right? That's the goal of the elites of Esau Edom. That's why the scripture is saying that that all men, right, bond and free, rich and poor, shall receive a mark on their right hand or on their forehead. So the ultimate goal is to have everybody receive that CHIP and to have everybody receive the MoTB. That will basically perfect Esau's control. Yeah. So let me end it right there. And another sneaky tactic of these devils to push forward the MoTB. And we're in those times right now, man. We're in that time right now. So with that, once again, all praises, honor and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh Basham, Yahweh Basham, Rakakodash, Wa Albad Babal, and through the Spirit, I hope you are and you are quite for edified. Shalom.